all the markets across the board are dumping and are constantly making new weekly, monthly and even new yearly lows, and BTC is no exemption. Is there more pain to come, or can we expect a bounce? I'm going to show you in this video what I am expecting on the immediate short term. If you like the content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. Before we go to the current price section, I just want to show you how we nailed the previous move to absolute perfection. What I'm talking about is this video, my last video about 8 days ago, didn't upload for a week. You can see here that I said I want to see price move higher back to that macro value area low, back test it as resistance because it was support before, and then slowly grind lower, constantly losing support levels. That video was created exactly here, and you can see price slowly moved higher. Then we had that Trump bump during the weekend, and eventually went lower again. And where did price stop out? Exactly on that macro value area low of that very big range that we created here. So the move absolutely until perfection. Now, truth to be told, I did not take this trade because this was in the weekend, it was on the Sunday. I don't trade on Sunday, so I missed it. I was waiting on Monday for a quick move up to take out the early shorts and then to go lower. That never happened, and you can see the price quite fast again dumped down. I was hoping and waiting for something a bit more gradual like this, like I just showed you here in the video, where people are constantly trying to long support levels. And then eventually price goes lower. Those longs need to close, so they need to sell out, and that is then the extra selling pressure to the downside. That was the idea. Now, of course, again, we got a pretty quick move to the downside, but here on the second attempt, where this high is being created, which is a lower high than this, so bearish market structure still completely confirmed, and now you can see that we have this much more slower grind to the downside, and now you can see a small move up. So far this actually looks really good. Where did we bounce from yesterday? This is an absolute key level, and that is the close of the CME gap. This is something that a lot of people have been waiting for. You can see here on the CME chart that I have a thick purple line and this box, and that got tapped yesterday. So that big CME gap that is now finally closed, and therefore you see this move up. With that being said, because we had a pretty big move on Sunday, we also still have a pretty big CME gap above us, and that will be closed at 86,000. The close is 86,000. Keep that in mind for a second. Okay, back to the BTC chart. Why do I think that we're due for a bounce? Well, there's multiple reasons. As you can see here on the 4 hour, we have a nice rounding bottom. Also, the money flow looks pretty okay. And once we reached that bottom, and that was last night after New York close, so I was not behind my computer anymore, so I did not take that long. But you can see here that we made very nice bullish divergences. Price made a lower low, momentum waves made a higher low. You see that the money flow is slightly coming up. This was a super nice long trade if you were able to take it. So we have a confirmed bullish divergence, and we have other high time frames that show some exhaustion, so some tipping over. Also here you can see green dot right now is being printed on the 12 hour. This actually just looks super good. If it is confirmed, you can also see here again bullish divergence even on the 12 hour. This just looks super good for a bounce to the upside. What are my price targets, or what are the levels that I'm looking at if we go higher? For me, a very nice level, but it is a little bit tricky, is 86.87. I just told you 86 is the CME gap fill, so that will be nice if we can hit it. And as you maybe also saw earlier on the CME chart, we did not fill that gap to the exact dollar. Price went a little bit lower, so why not go a little bit higher? And if we then go higher and we go to the golden pocket, starting off from just above 86 to 86 to 87,000, then we have the golden pocket. We have the point of control of this trading range that we are in, and you can see, and I will zoom out to make sure that it is visible for you. We have all of these weird highs here that we created, and the top of that high is 86,922. So really see this as a small zone. This will be a super nice juicy short area again. Why would I still be looking at a short area and to play to the downside again? Well, of course, if we go higher here, we do break the 1 hour market structure. However, the macro market structure is still very much bearish. For example, look at this. We have our high here, then we have a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So actually it makes a lot of sense now just to wait for again a lower high and then to play it to the downside. If we do go lower, we still have that super big golden pocket and all of these highs. This is like the most important area, but if you have been following the channel, then you know that I've been saying already a couple times, I think that the price eventually is going to bottom out just above this level or just underneath. And the reason is because everyone and their mother will be looking at 70 to 72k, that big golden pocket and all of these highs. So there will be so many limit orders here. If we do not front run them just above 72k, I think it's going to be a big flush down and will be somewhere underneath 70k, so somewhere in the 60s then. Sounds pretty low, it really is, but I think that is still the case. What still makes me bearish on the macro time frame, and now I'm quickly going to zoom out on the weekly, is that you can see here on Market Cipher B that the weekly does not show any signs of bottoming out. As you can see here on the momentum wave, this really needs a couple of weeks. So unfortunately, it looks like that we still get some more downside. That does not mean that we can now enter a long and then trade it to the upside, and eventually if we see our signals again, we trade it to the downside. With that also being said, you can also see here that we also have very much confirmed bearish divergences on the weekly. Now this usually takes many weeks to play out because this is also created on the weekly, so therefore this easily can still take a couple months. Don't think we're getting suddenly a flash dump. Next week we're higher, week after all-time high. That is not how it works, but because this momentum wave here on the weekly is not bottom out yet, I think that the low that we are creating right now is not the big low. That is not the low that we'll put in place before we see a new all-time high. For now it still looks pretty bad, and I think in the next couple of days we can maybe have some relief rally. Matter of fact, on Wednesday we have CPI. That's going to be the most important day of the week. Inflation in the United States, that could really pump or dump the price. But once we reach that very important level, 86, 87k, I will try to short it, and then again we made a macro lower high then to play it to the downside. We could roll over where we are right now. That would be very bearish. Probably not a short that I'm taking, and the reason is because we have mixed signals. Again, here on the 1 hour it doesn't look all too good, but then we still have that 4 hour that looks like we are going higher. It doesn't look like we're rolling over at all. We still have the macro time frames that's saying maybe it is time for a little bit of a relief rally. If you want to know when I'm taking a trade, if I'm taking a trade, the exact price levels that I'm looking at, and what else I'm trading, feel free to join the Discord. It's completely for free. You can find the link in the description. You're more than welcome. We have some great traders in there, so please feel free to check that out. And when you're down there anyways, also make sure that you like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. See you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.